5 days after Flight 17 was shot down, the bodies of the victims are finally heading home. Separatists allowed a train carrying the remains of 282 people to leave the crash site yesterday. Next, they'll be loaded on a plane for their journey to the Netherlands.
There are new aerial pictures of the crash scene. You can see debris spread across 2 miles. In a closer look at the primary crash site, burned fields and engine chunks are visible. Mark Phillips is right next to that field in Grabovo, Ukraine. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Well, in fact, there are significant developments here at the crash site where international observers have complained this morning that elements of this have in fact been tampered with. Parts of the fuselage cut into, some even moved, they say, by the rebels who control this site. And the train carrying the bodies from this wreckage, as you mentioned earlier, has now arrived in government-controlled territory in the town of Kharkiv, where the bodies will be transferred and flown back to the Netherlands. Also, the black boxes from the plane have now been handed over to Malaysian authorities, but none of this process has been smooth or easy.
It was a handover with a price. In exchange for receiving the black boxes from the local pro-Russian rebels, the Malaysians had to offer a diplomatic tribute and deal directly with Alexander Borodai, the self-proclaimed leader of the self-proclaimed breakaway Donetsk People's Republic, even though no one has officially recognized his country or his position. Malaysian investigator Mohammed Sakri took possession.
I can see that the black box is intact, even though a little bit damaged. Priority now is first is the body, second is the black box, and third is the crash site.
The black box handover had come hours after the train carrying the morbid cargo of the crash victims began its journey out of rebel country. Death had come quickly. Taking the bodies into Ukrainian government territory and onto the Netherlands for forensic identification is a slow, and for those waiting, agonizing process. The Dutch investigator who had arrived to take charge of the bodies was also the first foreign expert to visit the site, and that only briefly. The black boxes found here, if their data is still intact, may provide some evidence of what brought this plane down, but it will take a painstaking raking through of the crash debris by an international team of specialists to find whatever evidence may still be here. It is, after all, the local rebel militias who are alleged to have shot the plane down who have controlled the crash site.
This looks like a field of charred and tangled wreckage, and it is, but it's also a crime scene, and it's full of clues that so far nobody is looking for.
And the evidence here has not been untouched. We've seen workers going through personal papers, perhaps for identification purposes. In any case, there's no doubt the site has been compromised.
A few Malaysian inspectors have finally arrived here now to begin a preliminary investigation, but no full inquiry has yet begun.